My name is Elisa. I live alone in a small rented apartment in New York. One of those old colonial flats with long corridors and balconies full of forgotten vines. I've always liked plants. Not for decoration, but for peace. Maybe because they don't talk back or because in their silence they still feel alive. I had around 15 of them. Aloe, ferns, money plants, even a small bonsai that I kept near the window. Every morning before work I watered them. Every evening I checked if they'd grown. It was routine, ordinary, peaceful, until last month. That night I returned home around 10:30 p.m. It was raining heavily. The power in the building had gone out, and only the dim emergency light flickered in the hall. When I opened my apartment door, I froze. All my houseplants, every single one, were no longer where I had left them. They were arranged in the middle of the living room floor, forming letters. 4 letters, H-E-L-P. At first I laughed. Maybe someone was playing a prank. But the door had been locked, no one else had a key. I checked the windows. Shut. The balcony door, locked from inside. Then I noticed something else. The soil from the pots had been spilled out, forming a faint trail from the living room to the kitchen. Almost like something had been dragged. That night I barely slept. I rearranged the plants and convinced myself I was imagining things. Maybe the maid moved them. Maybe I did it and forgot. But the next evening when I came back, the plants had moved again. This time they spelled Y. And beside the word, where on the floor there was a single muddy footprint, small, bare, and wet. I stopped breathing for a moment. I checked the whole house, every corner, every shadow. Nothing. I called my friend Neil, who worked in the same building. He came over, laughed it off, said I probably had rats or wind knocking things around. But the next morning, when Neil came to drop off some groceries, he looked pale. "Arav," he said quietly. "You should check your balcony camera." I opened the app. The footage from 2:47 a.m. showed something moving near the plants. A figure. Faint. Female. She wasn't walking. She was swaying, like her body was light as paper. Her face wasn't visible, but her hands were black, like they were burnt. Neil left soon after, refusing to stay. I wanted to delete the footage and to pretend it wasn't real. But deep inside, I couldn't. I needed to know. That night, I left the plants where they were and sat in the dark, waiting. Around 3:00 a.m., the air grew cold. The leaves began to rustle, though the windows were closed. And then, faintly, I heard it. A woman's whisper. "Why did you bury me here?" I froze. "Who are you?" I whispered back. The whisper came again, closer this time. "You took my home. You planted on my grave." I didn't understand, until I remembered. A year ago, when I first moved in, I had converted the old balcony space into a mini garden. The landlord said the soil was soft because the old owner used to store things there. But what if that wasn't true? I dug there the next morning. The deeper I went, the heavier the air felt, and then the shovel hit something hard. A skull. Human. I stumbled back, heart racing. It was real. All of it. I called the police. They came, dug further, and found the skeletal remains of a woman. The file later said she was a tenant who went missing nearly 8 years ago. The case reopened, and for a few nights I thought it was over. Until one last thing happened. A week later, when I returned home from the police station, the plants had moved again. This time, they spelled, "Thank you." And for the first time since I moved there, the air didn't feel heavy. It felt calm, peaceful. I shifted out the next morning. But sometimes when I walk by that old apartment building, I see someone standing on that balcony, a woman in white, gently watering the plants. And I don't look twice. Because some peace comes only after truth is dug out of the ground.